Yeah, obviously it's very disappointing, not the outcome that we were wanting. Hats off to Penn. They came prepared, and they outplayed us. We had opportunities there. They made more plays than us. We just didn't make enough plays. And but the effort of our players. They went out there and battled, and put ourselves in a situation in our second half to get back in that game, and just didn't work the way we wanted to. But we got to learn from this, and we talk about this all the time. You got to learn from this, and you got to face adversity, and it hurts. And our players, they're just very disappointed, but they know, hey, that's just unfortunately that happens. And so we've got to learn from this and prepare, get ready to get back to Hanover, and be ready to go to practice tomorrow and get ready for next week. And we got to be able to learn from this and wipe it and be ready to go.
I don't think anything necessarily changed with their approach. I think we just made more mistakes. We were more fundamentally sound in the first half. We made plays when we needed to. In the second half, things just didn't go our way, and that's on us. We just got to be, more sound, make the right decisions. Throw the ball where it needs to go. Don't try and force anything. I'll take a lot of responsibility on some of that, but as a whole offense, we got to be more, just more consistent in the second half. Sure, yeah, just forcing the ball, just the wrong read. Gotta, keep progressing and make the right decision. That's all it is.
Thanks. Talking about the run game, you guys did a pretty good job of stopping Juice when you got back there, but they had some good stuff there over the field.
Yeah.
What you guys see different? Kind of the same offense we saw last week.
I think a big thing is when we had third and long out there, they had a few run plays that hit. That's something that we need to, I think, prevent going forward. We saw a lot of RPO, a lot of Q keep. We knew that going into it, started running it, and we need to work on that a little bit. They ran a little bit of counter, a little bit of inside zone, that sort of thing, and I think we did a good job. But especially with that Q keep, that's something that unfortunately we needed to do a better job dealing with.
Was it variation off that they ran with Liam running a lot, 100 yards for him, and his great game he's had? What was the difficulty with those sets, those two tight end sets, with those box sets they had?
I think a lot of the time it presented a little bit like an inside zone sort of a play, and then he would just keep it and go field side. It's a little difficult to see from the boundary, but that's what I think we faced, and a few of those hit. And like I said, third and long, running the ball, Q keep, we have to stop that. So. Yeah, we had the fumble recovery. Unfortunately, we had an offsides called. Again, discipline is a cornerstone of this game, and something that we need to work better on and keep in mind going forward.
Question for Grayson, just a few hours in the past game and just what are you hoping to do to bounce back?
Yeah, just gotta watch the film, move on, correct the mistakes, and keep going. It's a long season, we're only 3 games in, so we know we got at least 7 of them. We got to make all of them count. So that's all it is.
For Teddy, closing QB, Liam O'Brien had a big day on the ground. What about his performance? What you guys maybe off guard, or just maybe talk about Liam O'Brien and his rushing?
Yeah, I think, like I said, the biggest thing was the third downs. We didn't expect him to keep it as much. I think he was running it just straight downhill, and that's something that kind of threw us off a little bit. But it's nothing we haven't seen, nothing we didn't expect. We just need to do a better job dealing with it. Yeah, that's also something as well. Throughout the season, I think our red zone defense needs to improve. It's been something we faced, and I believe they have a pretty high percentage of our opponents against us in the red zone. So that's something we need to cut down on more going forward.
Yeah, I don't think, like I said, I don't know if they're necessarily their approach was different. I think we were just making more mistakes, penalties that brought us back, started some drives, some 3 and outs. We just got to convert when we get the chance. And we just got to be more consistent. Can't make those mistakes, key blocks in the red zone that, instead of getting 3, you can get 7 out of them. And I mean, honestly, just being more consistent, more fundamentally sound. We just got to carry that same energy and that same approach, the whole entire game, not just the first half or not just the second half. Just got to be more consistent.
Question for each student athlete. Just what are some positives you saw today? What are some things that you're hoping to carry on moving forward?
Yeah, I think, like you said, in the beginning of the game, we come out swinging. That's something that we hadn't done the past, two games. So that was, a very big positive. We came out swinging, put up 2 touchdowns on the board, and then a field goal as well. We just got to be more consistent with that. Keep that same exact energy, that same exact drive the entire game. Personally, we felt like we can do a lot of things on offense against them. We just kept beating ourselves. That's really how I feel at the end of the game. It's not a great feeling to lose, but I feel like we beat ourselves more than almost they beat us. We got to be more consistent with that. All three phases, offense, defense, and special teams.
Yeah, I really do believe that teams beat themselves more often than their opponents do. We came out hot. We had the interception first play of the game. That was huge. It's something we hadn't seen this season yet. And we came out hot. Then that second half, we had some mistakes early on, and things kind of spiraled a little bit. So I think we just have to keep the energy up. We've shown that we can do it. We've shown that we have guys flying around out there. We just need to keep it at a constant level throughout the entirety of the game, not just one half.
Thanks, fellas.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that was definitely 2 big plays that took the momentum away from us. Obviously the first one with the we got to do a better job protecting, giving our returner Sean room. You can't allow a guy to run down there and get right in his face and create that distraction. But we've got to catch that, and that was we had the momentum there, and that kind of gave them a short field. And then obviously with the start the second half, you go 3 and out and go to punt, and nice punt. And we do a good job of putting it back, pinning them, and then we line off, can't line correctly, and so we got to repunt it. And next thing you know, we snap over our head. So that to me, that's very frustrating. But our guys did a good job responding, bounced back, and fought, and continued to fight to get back in. And we just didn't make enough plays there at the end to give us a better chance. No, I just say we had a couple drop passes. I mean, if you look at the, watching the, I'm going to watch it obviously, but just this feeling out there. Just, I think we, a couple times just with our protection, just communicating, being on the right page. But no, I don't think they did anything really different. They mixed a couple things up, but nothing that we were not ready for and that we didn't recognize. We just had to do a better job with our reads. So you just got to, it's the simple things, the fundamental things. That's the stuff that, will catch up to you. And I just think, just easy throw and catch. We didn't do that great at times. We did it good at times, but a few times we didn't, and those end up being big plays for the other team.
Before today, you guys have a pretty high flying offense, which is normal. You guys have come up from that the past couple of years. And today it came back down to a little bit of 150 yards. And I know we're stressing the defense a lot, having these picks, but I'm curious what you saw from Grayson. And did you like his short game reads? Did you like his long game reads? How his progressions went throughout the game?
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. I mean, he does a good job for us. He's a good quarterback, and he runs our offense and has had success. And sometimes those reads aren't, you make the wrong decision, but that's part of it. I mean, there's a lot of times you make the wrong decision, but nobody even knows because it's not a bad play. But the ones that, when you do and they become bad plays, then obviously they stick out more. But he makes a lot more good plays than he does bad plays. And he does a phenomenal job for us, and he gives our offense an opportunity to go down the field. And like I said, we felt pretty good that we were able to move that ball. And even opportunities in the second half, but we just got to be able to stay consistent in what we do, and make sure we finish those plays.
We have a question. If you were able to recover from your special teams errors and turnovers against
Well, I mean, Penn's a good football team. I mean, they're a very good football team. They've got a lot of older guys, veterans on their offense, and that's just the thing. They make you if you make mistakes, they're a type of team they're going to capitalize on that, and they did that. And hats off to them. And they took the opportunity and they made the most of it.
The question is how do you recover after a loss like this, especially with homecoming against Yale in a week?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to learn from it and move on, and you got to wipe it. I mean, you love to win them all, but we focus on one game at a time, and we didn't play up to par to win this game today. We're not going to let this game beat us the next time. We can't. You got to forget about it, learn from it, and there's a lot of film, a lot of corrections we can make from it, and we'll prepare ourselves for a very good opponent, next weekend against Yale. Well, I mean, we know. They got a quarterback run game. They lined up in a couple of formations there that out leveraged us and outmanned us a little bit number wise, and we didn't make the appropriate corrections, and making sure that we get enough guys over there. And they did a good job. They did a good job scheming us, and we just weren't able to respond, and it hurt us. Yeah, I mean, that's you just gotta be able to can't allow something like that you can't dwell on it, and I think it kind of obviously it shocked us a little bit. We were on a roll, and but you gotta understand that's part of the game. That's you're gonna have some good plays, you're gonna have some bad plays, and we responded. That's not the play that cost us the game, but you had some momentum going, and you were feeling good offensively, and you had a good stop early in the game, and you forced them to punt again, and they made a big play, and they made the most of it.
There was a lot of kickoffs for them where you just had a fair catch. Was that driven by the fact that the punt was muffed, or was it?
No. We have a philosophy in it, about returning kicks and whatnot, and obviously toward the end of the game, last thing you want to do is the clock to run. You're trying to keep every second you can keep, and so that's had nothing to do with that, nothing. Yeah, that was a big one. Yeah, those are the two critical ones there that, we just got to do it better. We got to run the route better. We can't just get, pushed out of bounds. And we got to be able to, go fight and challenge for balls. And we just can't, you don't have to make that throw if it's not there. I'm sure if Grayson could take that one back, he would. What
Does that concern you that?
No, I mean, we tried to make a big play, and we made a bad decision. Didn't throw it in the right spot, and receiver wasn't in the right area. Got pushed out of bounds. So they did a heck of a job and made a play on it. So, I mean, we're going to take shots. We're not going to not take shots and have an opportunity to score right again before the half. That was our goal, and they made a play on it.